Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Scorpio placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Scorpio, what I'm getting for you to start off the reading, right now as I'm filming this video, Mercury just moved into your sign in Scorpio, and Venus is still in your sign for Scorpio, but is about to move into Sagittarius at the end of this week. So if you're watching this at a later time, it's still, the messages in here still may be timeless. I'm just putting it in the context of when I'm filming this. So Mercury is in your sign, which rules over communication and travel and contracts and things like that. And Venus is about to move out of your sign, which rules over resources and relationships, which is interesting. But right now, as I'm filming this, both are currently in your sign. So there's that energy coming through for your reading. What I was getting with that is, like, so first of all, the cards that I was just seeing in my mind's eye for this reading were these two cards, the Bear Spirit Healing and Purity Ice. And they're coming out for you, Scorpio, because of course you're a water sign. And Scorpio has this energy associated with it, at least in like how I perceive Scorpio, as being kind of like solid, right? Fixed water, which is ice in this case, fixed water. And I feel like there's this energy here of there may have been, so there's two things, because it's coming through like as a metaphor as like the seasons, where like in the northern hemisphere, of course, we're going into winter. Excuse me. So northern hemisphere, we're going into winter. Southern hemisphere is going into summer, right? So there's two aspects of your life, it feels like, where one aspect is going into winter. And I feel like whatever that area of your life is going into this period of healing. So it's being put on ice, so to speak. To go through some sort of healing. So there might not be a lot of movement in a particular area of your life because it's going through winter or a healing. There's another aspect of your life coming through with this card of an area of your life that has gone through healing, so that it's about to come out of the winter energy. So it's about to be sort of spring, summer for another aspect of your life, and it's coming through with this sort of like, it's gone through some sort of healing, it's been purified in some way, and there's an arrival of new energy to help sort of melt the ice, so to speak, because Scorpio is not just ice. I also see Scorpio as being like a big wave of water, right? Which is interesting. Scorpio can create a lot of change as well, because of course you're ruled by Mars and Pluto. Both of those are planets of change. So, well, not quite. It's saying Uranus is more of a planet of change. Mars and Pluto are more energies of like internal change is how it's coming through. Like you are creating the change, versus Uranus, which is more an external factor that's causing the change. So anyways, both of those energies are coming through for you. So just being aware, I don't think that the reading wants to focus on this energy where it's like some aspect of your life that is going through healing. It's on ice, meaning there's not going to be a lot of movement in that place or in that area of your life or whatever. It's just going to be sort of on ice. I feel like the reading wants to focus more on this energy. The area of your life that is about to be waking up or changing, or it was coming through as being like heating up, right? Like there's more heat, more energy, more action perhaps that you're having to take. And it's specifically coming through with like Venus energy, where you have, it could relate to resources and relationships because of Venus, because Venus will be moving into Sagittarius at the end of this week. We are also approaching a full moon in Aries as I'm filming this, which may also help with that more fiery energy. And there's also something about Pluto that may be causing a bit of tension, is how it's coming through for you, Scorpio, because it is going to be moving into Aquarius soon. It isn't yet. I think in November it's going to be moving into Aquarius. So there, you may be experiencing tension in that, and like in something about like a rebirth. I do feel though that there's some sort of rebirth happening in aspects of like relationships and resources, especially if there have been any areas in, or any aspects in those two houses, like your resources and relationships, that have been sort of unhealthy, is how it's coming through. So those are going through a rebirth. So I'm going to be using this Alchemy Elementals deck, but I feel like there's another card in this deck that I'm not seeing that needs to be part of your reading. So I'm going to pull just one card from this Alchemy Wild Unknown Oracle. Interesting. Quicksilver. Because that's the energy of Mercury again, which is really interesting. And that's also, oh, there's so much there. Because Quicksilver, or Mercury, the element, of course it's also associated with the planet, is the only liquid metal at room temperature. All other metals are solid. And we were talking about sort of like the fixed energy, like solid water, which is ice, perhaps becoming more fluid, being a liquid state, if that makes sense. So there's like a fluidity coming through your reading today. Like water, of course, because that's your sign. But it's becoming water because more heat has been added, is how it's coming through. So something that was quote unquote solid is becoming more fluid. Okay, so I'm going to read the description for this Quicksilver. Slippery, mobile mercury, part liquid, part metal. Quicksilver is a mesmerizing material. Its gift is to slip between worlds. It cannot be pinned down or easily defined. Mercury came to symbolize the god Hermes and the great hermetic secrets of alchemy, always sliding away into secrecy just beyond the alchemist's grasp. It is said Mercury represents the transition between the physical and the unseen worlds, between life and death, between science and the esoteric. It is the metal of sacred thresholds. Shamanic practitioners of every tradition must acquire the ability to stand at the doorway between worlds. This is no small feat. The Mercury card indicates the querent has a particular gift for such a task. This is the work of the shaman, teacher, sage, artist, and alchemist. Heed the call of Quicksilver. The sacred threshold requires your attendance. To ponder the power of a secret. If you're attracted to shamanic work, find a trusted teacher who can guide the way. Be discerning in your choice. Alchemy reminds us you cannot transmit what you haven't got. There's this energy of like with Hermes coming through. Hermes being the god of the messenger god, which is interesting. Because he can pass through all the realms, Hermes. It's almost kind of like Scorpio. you're because it's not the planet of Mercury, it's the element of Quicksilver. You have this element of Hermes, of being able to pass through sacred thresholds, is how it's coming through. I feel like there's this energy of like that, because it's also coming through with Pluto energy of like, it's not quite a transition, but it feels like that, like a transition between one state into another, right? From solid to liquid. But it's still being the same element, just in a different form. So you're working with the element of Quicksilver, of like passing through sacred thresholds. I feel like you have this ability, Scorpio, like an ability to pass through like locked doors, or an ability to go places where other people don't have access to, or with Mercury as well, it also comes in with this energy of communication and messages and travel, right? Like there's something about that, like you have that element that allows you to communicate things, or to go places that other people can't go. There's also this element of like you can pass through other realms through some method of travel that is significant to you. Communication is really being highlighted here. Especially because Mercury has just moved into your sign, right? There's also this energy of like being able to pass unnoticed. We'll see what more comes out with that. I'm just going to leave it generally like that. Okay, Scorpio. Okay. First card out, you have water, waterfall, and moon. Yeah. Look at that image. There's waterfall from the moon, which is very interesting. And there's jellyfish as well. Okay, I'm going to read that description. They're called emotions for a reason. They are energy in motion, which means they need to move. When we repress our emotions, stuff them down, and pretend like we're not having them, we create stagnation in the body and in the spirit and in the collective intelligence. Holding on to emotional discord creates imbalances in our character and limits our ability to perceive and assess the possibilities that are available to us. Release the energy that you are holding inside so that you can propel yourself beyond the fragmentation and beyond the stagnation into the truth. Feelings are never wrong and feelings are never bad, so don't go judging them. Just feel them. Allow them to flow through the entirety of your being and see how the beauty of this simple, honest act of expression creates expansion in your whole life. Yeah. I feel like, Scorpio, with this energy here of like something has been on ice. It has been. It currently, perhaps at the moment that you're watching this, something in your life has been solid, in a solid state. It hasn't been moving. This energy is coming through as like melting the ice, right? There's an increase in motion, in movement, in fluidity, and heat. It feels like very much like heat, like a Sagittarius energy coming in, which feels like an increase in inspiration, movement, travel, new experiences, a very sort of Knight of Wands kind of energy, like going new places, trying new things that are getting you to move or perhaps moving your emotions in a way, like you're feeling this jellyfish energy. I feel like there was a reading that I did such a long time ago that had like this jellyfish imagery. If I can find it, I'll link it above. There's something about like excitement or like the way something is presented, maybe, that, or like the way something is lit up is just how it's coming through. Like it's coming through with like lights, like oh, I just heard lights, camera, action. So maybe there's something about like something is about to begin, right? Like you have the lights. Something is about to start moving. And I feel like, again, so that energy of like of like ice and snow and winter. There was this thing, one of like, so I used to live downtown Toronto, and one of the things that I like, obviously spring is such a wonderful time, but one of the things I noticed when living downtown is that like once the ice started to melt, all along like the sidewalks and things like that, there were just like discarded cigarette butts that that were just littering the street. So there could be something here, Scorpio. The thing about like when you're healing something, when something starts melting, when something that has gone through healing or has been put on ice starts to melt, you start to see sort of like the remnants of the past that get sort of like brought up to the surface, right? It's like they start being more noticeable. And it could be something where it's like say it's a relationship, for example. It doesn't have to be that for you. It could be anything that's Venus related. So it could be resources, or your relationship to resources, for example, where if that area of your life has been put on ice, now you're going to start to see the things that were perhaps left behind from that energy, or like things that need to be cleaned up and healed, because it could be that there were some perhaps unhealthy behaviors, or I just heard coping mechanisms maybe that were that needed to go through healing, but perhaps you weren't ready to see it at that time. So it's now coming up now because you are ready to see it. That's how it's coming through. So it's like time to clean up the past is how it's feeling. But all of this energy feels very refreshing, right? Like it doesn't feel overwhelming, Scorpio. It feels like, okay, I'm ready to do this work now. That's how it's coming through. Or I'm ready to feel the emotions that were difficult to feel. Or it feels very refreshing. That's how it's coming through, like a refresh on your emotions, perhaps through inspiration, through a Sagittarius type of lens or energy, because it is coming through with freedom, Scorpio. There's an aspect here of like something that has been frozen or solid or not moving or unchanging is going through this energy of freedom. And there's this kind of like just being aware of taking it slowly. Don't rush through that, especially if there's like, because you don't want to move too quickly through this. It kind of feels like there's a potential for like the system to be shocked if you move too quickly, whatever that means, like, so taking it slow in whatever area of this life, or area in your life that this relates to. Okay, next card you have Fire, Ancestor Fire, Star. You are being called to embark upon a journey into the sanctity of your innermost realms. Your ancestors know well the secrets and the magic and the knowledge hidden inside of you, for they are the ones who planted them there before you were born. The ancient ones are asking you to go inside, child, to pay heed to your dreams and the messages they are sending by way of rustling leaves and crashing tides. Honor your ancestors, their spirits, and their lives. The more you remember them now, the easier it will be for you to hear the wisdom they are sharing. Get quiet and spend some time in the inner sanctum of your dreams and your spirit so that your ancestors can light the way for you. Yeah. It is feeling very internal. This, whatever this experience is for you, Scorpio, it feels like a very internal kind of shift or internal refreshment is how it's feeling. Interesting. And you have support from your ancestors who are helping to do this. It is feeling kind of like a refreshment of your heart, because you have, in this Quicksilver card, you have the green and the yellow, which are being highlighted, like your heart and your solar plexus. And the way that these lights are coming through the ancestors, it's through the heart, right? So it feels kind of like a refreshment of the heart. I think there was a Sagittarius reading that I did that had that theme, so I'll link that above as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Scorpio, this might be an aspect that is going through healing for you. This is a card about destructive fire. The Fire Volcano Moon. I'm going to read it. Okay. Sometimes the fires that burn within us go awry and take on distortions. My dear, your flames have shifted. Your inner fire has become destructive. If you do not tend to these fires immediately, the flames will consume you, along with all that you hold sacred, and burn everything you have worked so hard and so long to build to the ground. In order to see what has shifted and why, you must go within. You must sink deep within this place of discomfort, find the source of this distortion, and make peace with yourself before this inferno erupts and does irreparable harm. There is still time to shift. Be brave, child, and go within. And this card for you, Scorpio, is coming out underneath the bear spirit healing, right? I feel like there's an aspect of your life that is being put on ice. I don't know if it kind of feels like part of it is your choice, but there's another part of it that feels like it's not in your choice. Like you have to I shouldn't phrase it like that. Like it's like the universe is putting an aspect of your life on ice because there's something about like it's become too heated or it's become destructive to you in some way, that it's like the universe is putting it on ice. No more. You cannot do that anymore. That's something that needs to go through healing, is how it's coming through. Because it's feeling like there's this balancing energy, right? With like the seasons and the different hemispheres. It can't be summer on both sides of the world, right? It has to be winter in one side. So in order to maintain balance, and just like the way that the world works, there's something here about an area of your life is heating up, an area of your life is cooling down, whatever that is for you. And interesting though, that there may be, because this fire energy, this is one where it's like, because we have Sagittarius coming in to help free up some of the solid energy, but there's something else, and it could be related to Mercury, right? Like your communication, because that is what is going into Scorpio at the moment, and it will be for, I don't know, a few months, I guess, couple months of, or maybe not. I don't know how long the transit of Mercury is. It feels short though, maybe a month or so, where something about like perhaps communication is going through a healing. Your communication is going through a healing, or something to do with like, Mercury also comes through with like sibling relationships as well. Making sure that you are clearly heard and understood, but there may be something about like sibling-like relationships, or like peer relationships, right? That if there has been any sort of like miscommunication or a lot of heated arguments or misunderstandings, that is going through a period of healing where it's going to be on ice. There's not going to be movement, because I feel like all parties need to sort of cool down. That's how it's coming through. But while that is going through healing, there's another aspect of your life that is going through a revival or a rebirth or a refreshment. A reawakening is how it's feeling to me. Okay, so you got 3 cards here. Sky, Rainbow, Star. Fire, Candle, Earth. This card came out in the Gemini reading that I did yesterday, so you may want to watch that as well. And Sky, Lightning, Moon. This is coming out underneath the Quicksilver card. Yeah, Quicksilver energy. Sky, Lightning, Earth. That is such a powerful image. Okay. Okay, so Sky, Rainbow, Star. Life on this beautiful planet is an ever-unfolding, constantly shifting, multi-dimensional journey. As a quantum creator, you are designing your own journey for yourself. Allow yourself to perceive beyond limitations and ideas of linear time, and peer into greater, more expanded realms of possibility that emerge from your dynamic expression. The more you can allow the many different facets of your being to express, the more potentials you create for yourself. This means that instead of examining your life one-dimensionally and seeing only one pathway for yourself, you allow yourself to see through a quantum lens, therefore manifesting many pathways and many possibilities. Living from your multidimensional expression opens up doorways that lead to magic and joy and abundance beyond your wildest, most amazing dreams. It's, yeah, interesting. You're opening up many different potentials is how it's coming through. This fire, I'm not going to read the other cards because I've seen these ones before. This one comes through with this energy of allowing yourself to shine, right? Like lighting the flame for others, being an inspiration to others so that others can also shine. This one comes through with this energy of being knocked on your ass. This is what comes through with that one. Hold on, I'm just gonna skim that one. When we go through intense and painful experiences, as every human being does, that suffering opens up doorways in our consciousness that expand our perspectives and give us deeper understanding of ourselves and our humanity. These experiences transform our understanding of the world and allow us to perceive from a higher level of intelligence. Our intuition grows stronger. We become aware of new concepts, new structures, and new patterns, all because we allowed these challenging moments to shape us and to transform us. Allow yourself to feel the pain you are enduring, to acknowledge that pain, and to follow it through the portals of expansion that are there to deliver you. Yeah, interesting. So there's an aspect here of your pain or suffering or because this one out of all the cards so far that I've seen in this deck feels the most like a tower energy, like some sort of energy of pain or suffering, or something not going your way, or like a feeling of being knocked on your ass, like that kind of energy. But what comes through with this card is that there is a portal of understanding and expansion that happens when you experience that energy, right? There's a new understanding and clarity that comes through the pain, which is interesting. Yeah. So I feel like there's this energy, Scorpio, for you where I feel like you're being asked to go within, it feels like, in order to perhaps heal something about your potential, because that's what it's coming through with these two cards. Heal something about your potential. And I feel like the portal, so to speak, that allows you to get to that place is pain and suffering, right? Like not like it feels kind of like a past pain, right? Like pain from the past, perhaps heartbreak from the past, or just experiences that were difficult from the past, right? The things that were on ice previously, perhaps having to do with your communication or resources or relationships, communication within relationships, perhaps, that needed to go through a healing. It's been put on ice. It's now starting to heat up again, right? Some aspect of those elements maybe feels heavily like communication though. Like that is wanting to go through a rebirth is how it's feeling. And the rebirth happens through pain, right? Like a painful, perhaps, experience, or like acknowledgement of pain, because this card was coming through with like feeling your emotions. And feeling your emotions, especially in regards to pain, can release it, is how it's coming through. It's sort of like an acceptance that suffering and pain are part of the experience. And this is a really powerful portal for you, Scorpio, in order to tap into some aspect of your power and your strength and your potential. Because I feel like with this sky rainbow star energy, it is tapping into like a really big potential, like that I feel like maybe there were like limitations that perhaps you were placing on yourself, limitations that you were placing on yourself, or that others have placed upon you as well from the past, that you're having to break through, right? Having to break through either self-imposed limitations or limitations from others. I actually think self-imposed limitations are harder to break through. Like if somebody says like, oh, like they place a limitation on you, right? Like you can't do that. I feel like that's almost easier to break through because you have something to push against, right? You have almost like this, there's a, well, it depends on the person, I guess, Scorpio. It feels kind of like whatever it is that you're perhaps having to break through is a self-imposed limitation. Like, I can't do this. If you don't believe you can do this, no one's going to believe it either. It's kind of like having to prove something to yourself first. I feel like, it feels very strongly like breaking through self-imposed limitations. And perhaps having to do with like the messages that you say to yourself, right? Like, because it's talking about communication and words having power is how it's coming through. Like your words, the messages, the things that you say and communicate to others, but also to yourself, have power. And it's something about like paying attention to how you speak to yourself, right? Like your inner dialogue. Is it inner monologue or inner dialogue? It depends on you, I guess. Inner dialogue or inner monologue? Why am I getting stuck on that? Because dialogue to me talks about a conversation, right? Having a conversation with yourself internally. There could be something like that there. Being your own mentor, right? A monologue feels more like one person is talking, the other is silent, right? That's how it's coming through. So I feel like for you, Scorpio, it should be more of a dialogue, like having a conversation with yourself about your own potential. Like, how do you see your own potential? Is it something that you nurture and put a lot of positive energy into? Or is it something where it's like, oh, I can't do that. That's not possible. Like, you shouldn't try that. You shouldn't do anything new. You should just sort of stay in your comfort. Like, it's kind of coming through like that, like paying attention to how it is you're speaking to yourself about yourself. It feels very strongly like a self-imposed limitation that may have come from outside influences. At one point, right? It may have come from outside influences at one point, but that those, like, perhaps limitations have become internalized in some way. Okay, that's too many. I just want one for the middle. What's at the center of this? Yeah, okay. This card also came out in Gemini's reading. Sky, Storm, and Sun. You, my love, have been through it. Braving the challenges, navigating the chaos, and sidestepping people's misdirected energies has left you depleted and exhausted. You have maintained your power and your integrity, supported by the grace of the spirits and the divine light inside of you. But you are tired and you are run down, and now it is time to replenish. Trust in the light that has guided you through so much turmoil. Know that this light is bright enough and powerful enough to wash away the pain and to heal the wounds of the past. Allow the light to purify your weary soul and to transmute your hurt into triumph as you stand renewed in the center of all things unknown. Yeah, this is coming through with, like, I feel like, Scorpio, if there has been a situation that was destructive in whatever way, or that was like really depleting, or really draining your energy, or there was a lot of heated arguments perhaps that were draining you, or you had to sidestep, or you had to like maintain your integrity to not lose your temper, that kind of thing, that situation is going through healing. It's not something that you can, well, that's the thing. It's going through healing. So it's reached some sort of ending at some point. Like it's reached some sort of ending. Eventually it will come back around, but in the future when you are ready to look at it again, that's how it's coming through. But right now it's in a period of healing. It's going through a winter phase, that difficult aspect of your life. Meanwhile, another aspect of your life is waking up. You've gone through some sort of healing energy. A past situation is coming back around, it feels like, in order to renew it, right? To like clean out the past, to clean out the wounds, to remove any of the old like programming or unhealthy behaviors or limitations that caused the ending from before. It's coming back around in order to heal that, in order to renew that. And it feels like it's like refreshment, right? It's like healing something. It's renewing something. And I feel like in that process of renewal, you are tapping into some sort of new potential is how it's feeling. A new potential, a new experience, a new threshold, a new possibility that was born out of whatever is coming out of stagnation for you. And it has to do with like shining your light in whatever way. I feel like there's this energy here of like you have transmuted your pain. Because pain is coming through as like a very powerful energy for you in order to like tap into, is how it's coming through. Because we all go through painful experiences, right? And one way in which to transmute that is to like create something out of it, like a creative expression, or it's coming through with like Chiron energy, like a wounded healer kind of energy, like using your pain or your experience of pain or whatever it is that you've gone through in order to help heal others. That's what it's coming through with. There's so much potential here though. I feel like there's like this like I'm seeing like a bridge and a Ferris wheel in this. The last Libra reading that I did also might have information for you as well. I'm seeing like a bridge and a Ferris wheel, like potential and also like a flame, like potential, flame, a new cycle as well, a higher perspective perhaps. It does feel like maybe like a timeline shift as well. Like maybe you're going into a new timeline or a new realm or a new potential pathway. Okay, Scorpio. I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.